Well, Lynn, one of the most interesting parts of this is the fact that the timeline is still not set. It was claimed that June 9th was the last time that Casey saw Caylee, and the grandmother said the same thing, but then we found out from the police department that that's not true. There's a photograph from the 15th, the following weekend, or it could be somewhere around the 15th. And then there's a call from an ex-boyfriend on June 24th who worked for the Orlando Police Department, came forward. This is Casey's actually ex-fiance, came forward and said, I spoke with Casey on June 24th. Caylee was in the background, and in fact, she had to scold Caylee to get off a table. This is a gentleman that used to work for Orlando Police, came forward to the Sheriff's Department and volunteered this information. He has nothing to gain and everything to lose. He knows what would happen, the repercussions of lying. So the timeline is not set, and when you're looking for a missing person, I think any legal expert you're going to talk to tonight is going to say, we need to know exactly when this child was last seen and where she was last. Because right now, everything's sliding all over the place.
All right, this is not making sense to me as a mother and a grandmother, or to the millions of people who might be viewing this program. Why wouldn't Caylee Anthony, there being shown the mother of this child, why wouldn't she cooperate?
Well, that is the million-dollar question. And that's what everyone wants to know. You just want to just ask her, tell us the truth. Why are, and that's the thing is now the lawyer has gotten involved, Jose Baez, who's doing what he's supposed to do, defending his client, but everything keeps getting muddied and murkied, and the further we get away from this, the less we know. And yeah, why won't she just say, well, she's saying she is cooperating, and that if you've listened to those tapes, she says, they're not listening to me, they're not listening to me. Well, when somebody lies all the time, you don't know where the truth is. And she was telling her parents the weekend that Caylee allegedly went missing that she was on a business trip for Universal, which we now know wasn't true. She hadn't been working for Universal for several years.
So in Florida, where this case originated, is there speculation as to what may have happened to Caylee? Is there some sort of general consensus of what is going on?
No, and that's what's amazing. I was sitting around with a lot of my colleagues today in the media room at the courthouse, and I looked at every one of them and I said, do you guys think she's dead? And they said, this is one of those things where you're not sure. Is Caylee dead? Is she alive? Where would she be? It's so confusing that nobody, you've had these high-profile media cases where you're watching on the news and you just shake your head and go, so-and-so's dead, she's dead, he's dead. You watch this one and you go, I don't know. This girl is a great con artist. She's one of the great con artists because we don't know.
Right.
I mean, you've watched all this. Do you think that she's still around? You probably are still asking yourself the same question.
And that, I'm sure I'm not alone with that. I'm wondering if she has any idea where her child is, why she wouldn't just tell people. By not telling people, then you think, well, something must have happened to her. Steve Rogers is a detective. He has done this for many, many years. From a law enforcement perspective, Steve, what do you make of it?
Well, there's one of two roads the police are going to be going down very shortly. Either this is going to become a homicide investigation, or there's a remote chance, and I want to emphasize the word remote, that the child could have been sold, given away for profit, but something obviously is wrong with the mother not cooperating, and that puts her right in the bullseye of this investigation.
All right, so the focus is obviously on the mother, but what about this so-called babysitter? Why can't police locate her and say, do you have the child?
Well, I'm sure they're making every effort to do that if, in fact, there is a babysitter. And there again, this is another twist in this investigation. Who else saw the babysitter? Who talked to the babysitter? Did the grandmother ever have a conversation with the babysitter? And is that babysitter, if one surfaces, the individual who was babysitting the young child?
Zach, if we could just clarify quickly, can you confirm or deny for us, have the police determined that there is in fact a babysitter? Has she been interrogated? Does she know anything, or does she even exist?
No, that's the thing, is there are so many Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. It's such a common name. And these are some of the huge holes. The family has never seen her. But then the mother is sticking up for her, the grandmother rather, Cindy sticking up for Casey, is saying, oh, but she always talked about her. She always talked about her. But then you look on the MySpace page that has now disappeared, but I still have a printed out copy where the grandmother said, you know, she lied about the babysitter. So, you know, it goes all over the place. There's no photo of, she doesn't have a photo. She doesn't have a working phone number. The address we know turned out to be wrong. But she's saying that the police aren't doing it. It's perfect denial. It's everyone else's fault. The police aren't doing the job.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is a story that is not checking out. Or, as the other guest just said, is she could have just been taken and being threatened of being sold into some sort of something or kidnapped, and that
Right.
gets too fantastic. You start getting away from reality at that point.